Go online, and there's a good chance you'll find someone telling you just how you should spend your time, what habits to build, what business to start, and ultimately what path you should follow. And let me tell you, that's exhausting to listen to. See, I followed a pretty normal path. Graduated high school, went to college, got a good job, and was doing well. Yet somehow, some way, I still felt like something was missing. For a while, I tried to ignore this feeling and just focus on my life. Outside of work, I needed something that would challenge me, and quite frankly, something that I could obsess over. So, I started searching. I tried hiking, flying drones, and even took on a few more side projects, but nothing could ever really scratch the itch. If there's one thing that does stand out amongst all of the posts online, is just how many people have taken up running. So, I decided to give it a go. It was new, and I was having a lot of fun. I even entered a race, and actually won. This phase ended up being pretty short-lived, and once the novelty of it wore off, the reality started to sink in. This sucked. If there's one person that I've looked up to my entire life, it's David Goggins. In his books, David talks about suffering and embracing the suck. He says you meet your true self on the other side of suffering. And with this newfound understanding, I decided to give running one last shot and signed up for a marathon. This time, I embraced the suck and actually made some progress. Short runs, long runs, gels.
I was an off club.
And of course, chamois butter. I learned about this the hard way, and it was very, very painful. I started to actually enjoy this for once, and I was pushing myself further than I had ever gone before. As I got closer to race day, the reality of what I had signed up for kinda sunk in, and to be honest, I didn't know if I could do it. After all, this was the furthest that I had ever run in my entire life. The first 30 kilometers were relatively straightforward. Eat the snacks, enjoy the race, and don't forget to hydrate. Up until now, everything was going pretty smooth. But around the 35-kilometer mark, it started to get really, really hard. It was at this point I decided to turn off my music and just be with my own mind. At first, my mind was completely blank. After all, I was pretty tired. But as I continued, something kept coming into my mind. This is hard, but I can do hard things. At a few points, I started tearing up. Not because it was hard, but because I didn't want it to end. For the first time in a while, I found something that spoke to me. Something that would challenge me to my core, and something that would push me beyond my physical and mental limits. And step by step, kilometer by kilometer, we got there. But just like that, everything was over, and I found myself back at home in the same routine. See, if there's one thing that I've learned throughout this entire process, it's this. With enough hard work and patience, you can do hard things. And with that in mind, I began to wonder, what's next?